Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to explain Australian sci-fi movie named 2067, released in year 2020. The movie begins and we are told that all the plants have been wiped out from the earth. Therefore natural oxygen has also been exhausted. All the people were dying due to lack of oxygen. Only one city in Australia survived, which was using artificial oxygen. But because of this oxygen, humans were being attacked by a very dangerous disease. Now we see the main character of the movie, Ethan, whose wife has also become a victim of this disease. That's why Ethan was trying to give the best quality oxygen to his wife. He had to pay for this oxygen also. Even in Australia, the people who are left are because of a particular corporation. Because that corporation makes artificial oxygen. Now we see that Ethan has been called by that corporation office. Jackson was the CEO of that oxygen manufacturing company and a researcher. She calls Ethan and tells him that if this disease continues to spread in the world like this, then the whole world will end very soon. She says that you are the only one who can save this world. Ethan becomes very confused by her words. So Jackson takes him to a lab. Ethan also had a friend Jude with him. After going to the lab, they are shown a time machine, and here Ethan is told that this time machine was made by his father. Jackson says that only you can operate this machine. Because you have a part of this machine in your hands in the form of a watch which your dad gave you. As soon as Ethan hears about this, he remembers that when his dad gave him this watch in his childhood, his hands started bleeding. The call watch was fixed in his hand. But Ethan did not know anything about this watch before. Now Ethan is told that a message has been received from this machine, which has come from the future. I am talking about sending you a message 400 years ahead, such as in the future. Here in the lab, a doctor tells Ethan that we have learned that 400 years from now the world has returned to the way it was. That means there are plants and oxygen there, and the climate there is also absolutely normal. That means the environment there is now suitable for humans to live. He says that you should go there according to your father's experiment. And from there the plant and oxygen have to be collected and brought here. That is, you will collect oxygen and plants from the future and send them to the past, so that we can start life here again. Ethan felt as if all these people were playing a game with him. And even if this is true, Ethan did not want to go there because his wife was ill. But the scientist believed that if Ethan really went there, they could fix this world. But now Ethan's friend Jude, who was with him, was convincing Ethan to go to the future. But Ethan didn't want to go. Because he did not want to be like his father, who left Ethan and his mother for his project. Ethan did not want to leave his wife like his father. Now his friends explain to Ethan that his wife is ill, and the only way to cure her is to go to the future and bring plants and oxygen here. Due to which the environment here will be fine, and your wife will also be fine. When Ethan shares all these things with his wife after going home, she also insists him to go to the future. Even though she doesn't want Ethan to go to the future, she still wanted to do it for everyone. Now after much thinking, Ethan goes to Jackson the next morning. He tells her that I am ready to go. But I have one condition, that if you get the treatment, then you will cure my wife first. And Jackson agrees to this. And now Ethan's preparations to go to the future begin. In the lab, Ethan is given a suit to wear before going into the machine. After all this, when Ethan asks them about the next plane, no one there has any answer. They didn't know how Ethan would meet in the future, and how he would return. And even they did not believe whether Ethan would be able to bring the plants here or not. But Ethan had to go now. After this, Ethan is given a device, which will keep Ethan connected to the past. Finally Ethan sits in the machine, and they set the time and turn the machine on. Now after the machine is turned on, there is a blast of radio noise, due to which Ethan was moving very fast inside the machine. Now Ethan, coming to the future, falls into an unknown forest. Due to the strong wind, Ethan's suit catches fire, due to which he comes out and takes it off. Now after all this, he looks around him, where the world has become the same again. Ethan was now enjoying the natural beauty and oxygen. Now, after going a little further, he sees a skeleton, which had a bullet mark on its skull. Now when he reads the name of that skeleton's dress, he becomes very upset. Because it was his skeleton, and now Ethan also gets the device which the scientist had given him. Ethan was very scared after seeing all this, and now he could not understand anything, because that skeleton also had the same watch in his hand. The only difference was in the light. That skeleton's watch had green light, and Ethan's watch had red light. This thing was confusing him a bit, and watching all this, the night falls. Ethan makes a fire to spend the night, and collects some berries to eat. But these berries were poisonous, due to which Ethan's health worsens, and he becomes unconscious. With the help of that device, Ethan's health is known in the lab. Now Ethan regains consciousness. He has his friend Jude, who was sent to save Ethan from the time machine, so that he can complete his mission. Later, as Ethan and Jude go ahead, they see a door. Now we see that this skeleton of Ethan that we saw earlier, was now in front of this door, and we can guess that something has changed in the past. But at the same time, a scanner comes out from there and scans Ethan's eyes. Due to which the door there opens. When they go inside that door, they realize that this is the same lab from where they started. Jude became very excited after seeing all this, because in front of him was the time machine, with the help of which he could go to the past again. But they find a timer on the time machine, which lets them know that the lab will end 4 hours after it is reactivated. The system was designed in such a way that no one could take advantage of the system. Here Ethan turns on a hologram, where his father explained all the details of this project. Now he had to finish his work quickly. Had to return after collecting oxygen and plants. But they come to know that the oxygen collector, such that the machine which will collect the oxygen, is bad. They get very upset. Now they had to repair this machine within 4 hours and return, and they had very little time. Now whenever they go out from here, they get cover from the entire city with plants. They find skeletons everywhere, from which they come to know that this city was converted into plants, after the complete extinction of humans. That is, only after the departure of humans, the environment here became better. Now in the future, Ethan goes to his home, and becomes very emotional after seeing his wife's skeleton. Now Ethan turns on the recording of the future device he found. And he realizes that Jude is going to shoot him. Jude also hears this recording, and he actually takes out his gun to shoot him. But Ethan somehow stops Jude, and decides he must fix the machine before he dies. They now come back to the lab, where they now had 37 minutes left. Ethan goes outside the lab to see his skeleton, wondering if stopping Jude has changed his future. But he sees that his skeleton was still there, which shows him that the future has not changed yet. Now Ethan wanted to know future, so he takes out the battery of his device, and puts it in future's device. He sees the video where Jude had killed him. Seeing this, Jude explains to him that there is no chance of our survival anyway, and if we fix the oxygen collector, a lot of time will be wasted. We should go there in this time machine before that. But Ethan not listening to him, and locks him in a room. Coming to the lab, Ethan turns on his father's hologram. This hologram was from the day his father died. And in this hologram, Ethan sees that his father wanted to protect the time machine he had created. But Jackson wanted to use that machine for her work. To prevent Jackson from succeeding in her mission, Ethan's dad had connected the machine to Ethan's DNA, which is why blood came from Ethan's hand when he wore the watch. But Jackson was not one to accept defeat. That's why she killed Ethan's parents, so that she could use Ethan for his own purposes in the future. Ethan gets very disturbed after seeing all this. Because the person whom he considered his friend had killed his parents. It was also revealed to him that he had been misunderstanding his father for so many years. But now Ethan did not want to let Jackson succeed in her purpose. That's why he was going to destroy the time machine. But then Jude comes there and stops him. Jude tells him that Jackson has sent me here, so that I can kill you while you are fixing the defect of the oxygen machine. But Jude considered Ethan like his brother. That's why instead of killing Ethan, he shoots himself. Now Ethan was working to fulfill his father's purpose. He repairs the oxygen collector machine, and also puts all the plants in the machine and sends them to the past. Along with this, Ethan had also sent the evidence of his father's murder and Jackson, but he himself did not go to the past. Due to which Jackson's entire plan gets destroyed, and she gets arrested. Here Ethan also sends a flower to his wife in the past, and himself destroys the time machine in the future, so that no one can misuse it. Now when Ethan comes out of the lab, he does not see any skeleton. He comes to know that the past has changed. His one good decision saved the entire human race, and the movie would have ended here, showing a glimpse of the future.